Good day to you, and you can call me Arthur Twiggs. Today, I continue with my series on the Flare network and the Spark token. I'm learning more and more as the launch of the Flare network approaches in July. In today's show, I'm dissecting Flare Finance's latest blog post we heard from the forecasters in my previous show on the rise of the Spark token. Now, it's time to hear from the Flare Finance developers themselves. The Flare Finance blog post contains the most specific details yet on how the Flare Finance ecosystem will work and how your Flare will travel to possibly reach a market valuation of $100. And if the Spark token does rise as high as $100, this will be one of the first documents that showed how they did it. First and foremost, this Flare Finance blog introduces their annual percentage yield cloud. This app cloud will be the engine and automated financial advisor for the Flare Finance system. There are naysayers out there, but no decentralized blockchain application developer has been this prepared before for such a utility-savvy blockchain as is Flare Finance and the Flare network. All of the details have not been released in this blog. Rest assured, there will be questions left unanswered after today, but this is Flare Finance's most specific illustration yet, and they've still plenty of time before the launch. Flare Finance says they will soon follow up this overview blog with a second blog, providing even more details. That is, if you can handle it. I'll be sure to try and break it down. Yes, it is complicated, but decentralized finance requires users, on occasion and on some level, to handle terms once limited to individuals who graduated with financial degrees from universities like Wharton, New York University, MIT, or even my alma mater, Georgia Tech. In the meantime, you've got me, so we need to get to work. Now, with decentralized finance on blockchains like the Flare network, you will be making the money instead of those graduates with fancy degrees. Isn't that the goal, to control your own money? It's definitely a double-edged sword for some, but you do not need to know all of these terms by heart or perform the calculations yourself to make money on the Flare network. Otherwise, I'd be in big trouble. But it's helpful to have a basic understanding of how the machine works in layman's terms for average folks like me and you. So, I'm going to do my very best to simplify this latest blog from Flare Finance. What this somewhat hairy blog post by Flare Finance ultimately reveals is the detailed roadmap for long-term rewards and sustainability. And it has expert crypto YouTubers like Mickey B. Fresh, Crypto Eddie, and some others very excited. Crypto Eddie says the time to get in is now, and Mickey B. Fresh believes pretty much there's a guaranteed yield. Is the projection of $100 Spark token just a bunch of baloney? The developers of Flare Finance aim to prove the naysayers wrong. I'd love to know what you think in the comments section. For now, we'll explore the latest from Flare Finance and our evolution away from centralized finance to decentralized finance when I return. Last week, Tesla's Elon Musk sent the value of DeFi through the roof with his latest tweet, "Don't defy DeFi." This tweet sent DeFi tokens on a positive run to almost $80 billion, according to investing.com. Some believe Elon was trolling DeFi with his tweet. Others believe he was being positive. I believe that Elon's tweets, "Don't defy DeFi," means that the centralized finance is on its way out the door. So, defying the centralized finance would be defying the future of finance. I believe he's encouraging these large corporations that got behind Bitcoin recently to now turn their attention to decentralized financial applications. That being said, I am not a financial advisor. The content in my YouTube videos is for educational purposes only and merely cite my personal opinions. So, what do you believe Elon Musk meant by don't defy DeFi? I'd like to read your thoughts in the comments section. The Flare Networks just released their blog, which I like to call a roadmap for making money. But their blog post is actually titled Peeling Back the First Layers. That sounds like a Southern coming-of-age novel, something you could sit on the front porch and read with a big glass of iced tea. It sounds nice and comforting. But then we get to the subtitle, and it's the subtitle you have to worry about. In this document, we will discuss the token distribution, the product suite, the profit-generating mechanisms, and governance staking incentives, all implemented into the Flare finance ecosystem. So what happened to peeling back the first layers? Goodness, now that sounds like white pages, not a novel, and there's the following topics which sound intimidating to say the least. First of all, there are 13 of them. But if you've watched my previous videos, especially Understanding Flare Finance 104, then we have already, to some degree, covered 6 of the 13 topics listed in this blog post. I cover the 6 DeFi products of Flare Finance on 104. I look at Flare X, Flare Farm, Flare Wrap, which used to be known as Flare USD, Flare Loans, and Flare Mutual. So we'll briefly look at those products, but for the most part, we'll focus on the new stuff. We know more than we think we do. So, this blog post by Flare Finance hopes to give us, as they say here, an overview. That's the key word, overview, meaning all the specifics are not here. This is the overview of the following topics. This is the first blockchain and DeFi app developer to create such long-term opportunities from day one of launch. So it's all very new. Flare Finance on the Flare Network will not be playing catch-up like Ethereum 2.0. I discussed the differences between the Flare Network, Ethereum 2.0, and Cardano on Understanding the Flare Network 102. Today, I'll be looking at token distribution, product suite, and ecosystem map. We'll jump past the 6 products for the most part and right into the specifics of the APY cloud. The last 4 topics, ESB distributions protocol, excess distributions, stress distributions, and bond distributions all occur in relation to the APY cloud. We'll start at the top with the token distribution. As discussed previously, if you receive Spark from the airdrop, you will receive DFLR and then have 7 days to choose to participate in the network, when at that point it will be converted to YFLR. And you'll be able to do that conversion on the platform. So, once you earn the yield Flare, then you will begin earning the compounding guaranteed yield. If the word yield throws you, and sometimes it does me, let's just use earnings instead of yield. So, in the Flare Finance ecosystem, there are 2 tokens called YFLR and YFIN, and currently the 6 DeFi products we spoke of earlier. The token distribution is fairly straightforward, so there is a total supply of 110 billion YFLR. There is no minting implemented into the contract by default for security purposes. Minting is the creation of new coins, while burning, on the other hand, is the elimination of coins. So, there is no more minting or creating new WFLR, and burning YFLR could only be activated by a governance vote. This is an option later on for the holders who also stake their Spark for governance. So for now, you cannot create new or eliminate YFLR. So there are 110 billion YFLR, that's it, of that total. $40 billion are reserved for the Flare Finance Spark token airdrop for holders of FLR occurring 1 month after the launch of the Flare network, as we discussed in my Flare video 105. Then another 40 million YLFR will be distributed via pool mining from the APY cloud to participants of on-platform governance staking. What is the APY cloud? We'll get into that shortly. Let's get past the rest of the token distribution for that answer. So, 40 billion are reserved for the airdrop. 40 billion will be distributed via pool mining from the APY cloud. 10 billion are going to the team and investors, while another 10 billion goes toward the FLR or the Flare Foundation. Those will be used for such things as operations and other necessities to help maintain the ecosystem's growth and sustainability. Then the last 10 billion goes toward reserves. Then we get to yield YFIN, the other Flare Finance token. There's a total supply of 11,000 YFIN, and similar to YFLR, there's no minting or burning happening at this time. Of the 11,000 YFIN, 8,000 will be geared toward Flare farm distribution, and 1,000 YFIN will be for Flare mutual distributions in the event of a claim. Another 1,000 YFIN is for Flare loans, and then 1,000 YFIN is in reserves. So we have a cursory understanding of the coins of Flare Finance. Next, the product suite and ecosystem. We've dealt with the top part of the overview already. We see that Litecoin, XLM, Dogecoin, and XRP have already been integrated into the network. Moving down, once these F assets become YFLR, they can enter the Flare Finance ecosystem. And once there, your YFLR may find use purposes in each of the 6 decentralized applications of the Flare network. We discussed these 6 DeFi applications created by Flare Finance for the Flare network in our video 104. So, moving on, we see we can also earn by participating in governance, staking, and voting. We've gotten this far already with past shows. What's new is the green bit, or the APY cloud. If we scroll down, we'll get their definition. So we've seen how your token becomes YFLR, and once YFLR, how it enters the Flare Finance ecosystem. And then we understand that once in the Flare ecosystem, your YFLR has 6 DeFi apps it can utilize to earn money. These are all truly great, but what runs the machine? As far as I understand it, the APY cloud is sort of the engine or automated financial advisor that runs Flare Finance. The APY cloud is designed to work with all 6 of the DeFi applications. So what is the APY cloud? The developers call it the first user-governed dynamic yield aggregator, allowing for long-term sustainable yield platform-wide. Now, what does that mean? In their words, the APY cloud is an intelligent yield aggregate saving protocol that helps the ecosystem remain in a healthy financial state by being the token's personal financial advisor. Let's make an attempt to explain how this thing works. Here we go. Your YFLR is in the Flare Finance system, and while in the system, your YFLR may be utilized on any of these current 6 DeFi applications. So there's your cursory knowledge, but how do you keep it all straight and ensure that you make money? Well, that is the job of the APY cloud. The APY cloud has been programmed inside the Flare Finance ecosystem to ensure the health of the ecosystem by being an automated financial advisor. The APY cloud works in different degrees with each of the 6 DeFi products, offering governance, staking rewards. This is the job of the APY cloud to ensure the growth of YFLR. As they say it, APY cloud completes a 3-step procedure when deciding how to react to the current and future outlook of the financial ecosystem, and accomplishes these steps to better adjust and support the holder's token value. So there you go. The APY Cloud is an automated advisor that ensures the health of your tokens, and the APY Cloud uses 3 steps to accomplish this task. Number 1, the APY Cloud decides minimum and maximum governance annual percentage rates. For their example here, and for the initial launch, these rates may be set at a minimum of 5% and a maximum of 35%. Number 2, the APY Cloud asks itself whether or not there's enough protocol earnings within its contracts to cover the required yield to be paid out to the governance pool. Number 3A, if there are not enough protocol earnings to cover the minimum governance annual percentage required for distribution, then the APY Cloud will calculate and distribute the appropriate amount of YFLR from the APY Cloud to match this deficit. Now remember, there are 40 million FLR in the APY Cloud for this purpose. Number 3B, if there are enough protocol earnings to cover the set minimum of governance, APY, then the APY Cloud will distribute all available protocol earnings continuously until these earnings exceed the APY threshold or fall below the minimum governance APY. And then, in the event there is an abundance of protocol earnings, there is a fair distribution mechanisms in the APY Cloud to ensure long-term yield for holders and platform users. The FLAIR developers call this fair distributions mechanism ESBD for excess, stressed, or bond distributions. ESBD, they say, is a period of varied yield distributions that is enacted to adapt the current financial ecosystem produced by the participants. The APY Cloud behaves as a decentralized financial advisor so that you do not have to be your own advisor within the network. FLAIR Finance describes the specifics of excess, stressed, and bond distributions here. But what average folks like you and me need to know is that the APY Cloud is designed to react based on economically sound distribution principles. The APY Cloud inside FLAIR Finance is working to make intelligent choices with the FLAIR in its system. And this very detailed diagram that the FLAIR Finance developers have created shows even more specific steps than I have discussed just now. There's a link in the show description to this FLAIR Finance blog post. So, the APY Cloud is the engine and financial advisor of FLAIR Finance, and basically performs the complicated duties of the fancy finance graduate. I hope we have a better understanding of FLAIR Finance's Peeling Back the Layers blog. I do believe I have a better idea of how YFLR travels inside the FLAIR Finance ecosystem, and how once inside the ecosystem, the APY Cloud works to ensure the health of the FLAIR token. As Mickey B. Fresh says on his YouTube channel, this is something he's never really seen in DeFi. He believes this is a super impressive next level stuff. The biggest selling point here for FLAIR Finance and the FLAIR network is how prepared they are. They're not flying by the seat of their pants, playing catch up to newly evolving financial systems. They are bringing the evolution. So what do you believe? Is the projection of $100 FLAIR token just a bunch of baloney? Or have these FLAIR Finance developers and FLAIR network created something truly unique, designed to earn your coin money from its inception? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section, and I'll keep an eye out for FLAIR Finance's next blog post. Please join me for my next show, where we will discuss the price projections of XRP, which is back on the rise. We'll talk about what many of the experts are saying will definitely give you, and I'll definitely give you my personal opinion on this. I've been following XRP from the very beginning, and in all modesty, I think I know a lot about this coin. My mind just can't stop. I do want to know the answers. Please tell your friends and family to join in, and be sure to subscribe. It's free and costs you nothing. You might even learn a few things along with me as we travel on this journey. And also hit the like button and the alarm button to be notified of future shows. Thank you so much for watching.